our office, we have about 60 lawyers, and we're in Hall Office Park, just north of here. Beautiful development, not part of the 5B mile, not part of Frisco Square, but again, part of this Platinum Corridor growth going north. And Jim, I want to ask you, one thing that is consistent amongst all these projects is quality. Whether Gearbox at Frisco Square, can you tell us why, you know, Class A towers to, you know, Hotel Zaza, you know, coming, all these, why is it, what is it that is drawing that kind of quality up here?
Well, you're getting the quality developers only because of the leadership of the city, from John Lettler to George Purefoy and the fire marshal and the fire chief and things, and that they're demanding the quality. They don't want to have a situation where they have some things come up that don't stand the test of time, and after a few years you've got a real eyesore or something that's putting a lot of pressure on the services. So I got to credit Mayor Masso and really the city leadership to make sure that the quality happens. Now, that forces out the low end of the development group, because with quality comes costs. And so your margins on being able to make things work from a development perspective aren't great. You got to do everything right and at the right time, because you do have to spend a little bit more to make the buildings look nicer and fit with what they're trying to do as a city. So I think that it started at the top with the leadership saying, hey, if you're going to come here, you're going to do something quality. We don't want to have a city that builds some real cheap lean-tos for a while and then eventually have those torn down and doing something nice. So I think most of the things, and we're guilty of it, and I think Craig was guilty of it in 1997 when he started Hall, that he was probably a little bit ahead of the curve, and the first buildings he struggled with, and then as he got the momentum, the things worked. Same thing happened at Frisco Square. The first buildings were probably a little more expensive than we wanted them to be, but as we got the momentum, it started to work, and the city needs to be applauded that they force that on the developers. And they've been very strict, and that you got to build to a certain standard. And the other thing that they've been strict on is making sure they don't have a school system that gets out of hand. So between really Jim Gandy's group and the EDC and the school system, that's two very, very distinct differentiators that the city has for drawing other people to come to the community. And I applaud the leadership of the city and the EDC for making that happen.